Forward. That's it, they're underway in the opening Silverwave and Sea Moon at Burgage Stud, sponsored 4-year-old Maiden for mares as they head away on their way towards their first of 16 fences and old. They'll be jumping prominent early on as they race on towards the first is Whiskey Fever, being chased in second spot by No Time to Think as they rise at the first. The overback marker on touching down is Cloudy Pearl. So up to past the post with 3 circuits ahead of them, and out front with the advantage it is Whiskey Fever, who has the advantage and is over safely, being chased in second spot by No Time to Think, and just in behind these in third down the inside races Norristown Lady, being tracked towards the outside by Midnight Order. Behind Midnight Order at this point is Poets Theatre. Next up and behind them races Grace Hill, who was an early faller at Linkstown last Sunday. Back in favours just in behind these. They're being followed next up in the field as they make the bend around into the back straight by Norristown Lady, with Red Barn who's last but 2. Cloudy Pearl is last but 1, and last of all is Sir Gan as they race now on their way towards fence number 2. First of 2 fences along the back straight, and out front as they rise at number 3. Over in front with the advantage is Whiskey Fever from No Time to Think in second spot. Back in third behind these then races Midnight Order, and they're being followed over by Doyen's Last Dance. Sir Gan was a little slower than our rivals at the rear of the field. As they leave the back straight behind them, field red and sugar out already, and out front it's this Whiskey Fever who has the clear advantage of about 10 minutes or more to the second running No Time to Think. Midnight Orders in third, they've been followed in fourth by Doyen's Last Dance. Grace Hill comes next, and just in behind these is Back in Favour. There's a length and a half or 2 of a break to find. Poets Theatre is next, being chased towards the outside by Red Barn. Behind Red Barn is Norristown Lady, who's a couple in front over the next couple, which are Cloudy Pearl towards the outside of the overback marker, which continues to be Sir Gan. Straightening on up on their way towards fence number 5, and as they do so, with the advantage, it is Whiskey Fever, comes to it over safely, being followed over in the second by the Black Jacket of No Time to Think. Back in third behind these between horses is Doyen's Last Dance, with Midnight Order out a little wider, spot the Orange Jacket. They've been followed next in the field by Back in Favour with the stars on the sleeves. Grace Hill in the checks is towards that one's outside, and behind these then races the next one racing, which is Red Barn. Poets Theatre's down that one's outside, predominantly pink colours. Norristown Lady is last but 2 in the yellow jacket. The last but 1 in the black is Sir Gan, and last of all in green and blue is Cloudy Pearl. Making their way around into the back straight, fence number 8 and 9 awaits them on this part of the course, and out front with the advantage it is Whiskey Fever, and Shane Cutter, who has the lead, being chased in second spot by the locally trained No Time to Think and Troy Welsh. Third position and behind these then for Doyen's Last Dance and Alex O'Keefe. They've been followed next in the field by Midnight Order and Josh Berry. Just in behind these then races Back in Favour and Evan Nugent, as the leader makes her way out over the first of the 2 fences down along the back straight. Behind Back in Favour at this point is Grace Hill, with Poets Theatre who comes next. Behind Poets Theatre then is Red Barn as we watch the remainder of the field file out over the second fence of the back straight. Norristown Lady has just 2 behind Sir Van, and the overback marker continues to be Cloudy Pearl. Leaving the back straight behind them and racing left-handed to turn back across the top of the track, and out front this Whiskey Fever is a good 10 or 15 clear at this point, being chased in second spot by No Time to Think. Back in third behind these is Doyen's Last Dance, and then Midnight Order and Back in Favour. 2 lengths or a break to Grace Hill, who has for company on her inside Poets Theatre. Behind Poets Theatre at this point then continues to race Norristown Lady, Red Barn, Sir Gan, and the overback marker continues to be Cloudy Pearl. Heading up the straight on their way towards fence number 12, which is fence number 10 rather, and over in front with the advantage it is Whiskey Fever. As they rise to the next one, Whiskey Fever, the fence that will last the circuit's time. From No Time to Think, Doyen's Last Dance. Back in Favour. They're being followed next in the field by Midnight Order. Behind Midnight Order at this point then races Grace Hill. Norristown Lady comes next in front of Poets Theatre. Sarvon then towards the back end of the mid-division at this point races Red Barn, and last of all continues to be Cloudy Pearl. Out in their final circuit, they've under a mile left to race, and still got 5 more fences and all left to be jumped. And as they race into the back straight, where they'll meet their 4th last fence, still showing the way, it is Whiskey Fever, Shane Cotter, A commanding 10 clear of the second running No Time to Think in Troy Welsh. Just in behind these then in third races Doyen's Last Dance as they continue down right their way on down towards their fourth last fence, and over in front with the advantage Whiskey Fever from No Time to Wait. They're being followed by Back in Favour. Norristown Ladies on the move with Sir Ronnie has made good ground from the back of the field as the leader climbs out over the third last fence. Just in behind these then races Red Barn, being followed by Doyen's Last Dance, Grace Hill, and last of all towards the rear end of the field there in the orange jacket is Midnight Order. They're pulling clear over Clody Pearl, who's always been in rear, beginning to make their way back towards home, and the leader's almost been swatted up in front. Whiskey Fever, Sargon looks the big challenge towards the outside. Back and behind these then in third is Norristown Lady, and they're being followed next in the field by Back in Favour. Red Barnes, another one beginning to stay on from the back in company of Grace Hill, and then No Time to Think as they round the bend and straight on up. They've two fences left to jump in the opening 4-year-old mare's Maiden, and out front with the advantage it's Norristown Lady away to our left. Sargon is down the inside. They're then being followed by Red Barn, and then comes Whiskey Fever racing on towards the second last fence, and Sargon has the advantage by 2 to the last, being chased in second spot by Norristown Lady. Back in third behind these then races Red Barn, but towards the final fence goes Sargon. Norristown Lady's going to have another crack at her down to their side. Norristown Lady and Sargon, they drive to the line, could be either way. Norristown Lady possibly the far side, and Sargon the near side. They're being followed in by Red Barn, and then came Grace Hill in front of Midnight Order, and behind these then was Doyen's Last Dance. We lost 2 of the last. The 2 to come down were Back in Favour, and also coming down was the long time leader Whiskey Fever, and calling up in the home straight was Clody Pearl, and also being pulled up in the home straight was No Time to Think.